Child sexual abuse is an uncomfortable subject, but it's most uncomfortable for the many young people who have experienced it. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, about 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 13 boys in the United States experience child sexual abuse. For gender non-confirming children, the number increases to nearly 3 in 4, according to a study from back in 2011. Survivors of child sexual abuse are silenced by their abusers and also by society's systemic barriers.
So our next award recipient works to stop the silence and to give survivors their voice. They founded the nonprofit organization Mirror Memoirs, an oral history project centering the narratives, healing, and leadership of the LGBTQ+ survivors of color to end child sexual abuse.
In addition to their work on Mirror Memoirs, this recipient is an educator, a storyteller, an activist, and a consultant dedicated to fighting interpersonal and institutional violence against young people. Their commitment and approach to this work stem from their experiences as a genderqueer, femme-queer person of color and descendant of immigrants, and also from years of abuse by their parents, including 8 years of rape by their father.
So today, we recognize and honor Amita, Swadhin, for their openness, their courage, their power, and their vulnerability, and their ongoing dedication to stopping this violence. Through their public speaking, fellowship work, multiple theater projects, roles in nationwide advocacy organizations, and as a published author, Amita amplifies the voices of all survivors, including her own, to bring an end to child sexual abuse and to help survivors to heal. And as Alice Walker wrote, healing begins where the wound was made.
Amita, the city of West Hollywood humbly presents you with this Rainbow Key Award. We thank you for the work that you have done and that you continue to do, and we will support your efforts so that we can all move forward together.
Thank you so much, everyone. I'm truly, truly honored, especially given who my fellow awardees are. I'm humbled to be here today. And I have to say, I don't actually know who submitted my nomination, so thank you to whoever that was. I did make remarks because I'm a public speaker, so I'll try to keep it brief. I'm one of the people who wasn't born in California, but I have lived in Los Angeles County. It depends how you count it. I first came here for a fellowship in 2009. I was living in New York City at the time. I grew up near New York City, and actually was Monica's coworker briefly at GLAAD as the People of Color Media Fellow in 2011. And I fell in love with someone here in 2009, was bi-coastal for a while, and during that time really fell in love with Los Angeles County. And what was beautiful about my love story with Los Angeles County is how much the people of LA County loved me back. And it was especially trans people of color, especially trans women of color who offered that love. Jasmine Creighton, you were one of those people from the very beginning. It's such an honor to be honored here with you. We've had a long friendship over these 13 years. And your path has taught me so much, the way you've led with love, who you've lifted up, who you've stayed accountable to. So thank you for being a teacher of mine. I want to thank also fellow Rainbow Key past awardee Dante Alancastra for being one of the people who loved me from the beginning. Dante understood my vision for not just, I think a lot of child sexual abuse survivors write books and tell their own individual stories, and that's awesome and important, but what doesn't get highlighted in those moments is how this is systemic violence. right? What does it mean for the American Academy of Pediatrics to tell us that gender nonconformity is a risk factor for child sexual abuse? Why don't we think about it as an endemic form of transphobia, of homophobia, through the violence against our own bodies as children? And in an era, in a moment where we're talking about body autonomy, right? Not only do we have the right as adults to do what we want with our bodies, whether that's seeking an abortion or gender affirming care or, doing sex work with our bodies because our bodies are our own, we have the right when we're children to be our full selves, to be free of sexual violence, to be free of harm, to be affirmed in the many genders that exist in humanity and have always existed in humanity. And I was a very visibly gender nonconforming child. I was very much preyed upon because of that, in addition to other reasons. And Dante, as a fellow storyteller, heard about the theater project I had created in New York and heard that I wanted to do something in LA. I had an idea of Mirror Memoirs, and he was on my team from the beginning. So I want to thank you, Dante, and the work you do with California LGBT Arts Alliance, because it was through you that I have a relationship with the City of West Hollywood. Thank you to the City of West Hollywood Arts Department for giving Mirror Memoirs a $6,000 grant through Dante's organization. It's because of you that we were able finally last year to realize my 10-year dream of creating a theater project specifically uplifting Black trans women and Black trans femmes who were raped as children, many of whom were raped in adulthood as well, many of whom have faced police violence, sexual violence from police, sexual violence in prisons and in psychiatric institutions, and it has only been through the love of community that healing has been possible. We were able to produce a play because of the West Hollywood seed funding. We were able to use that to leverage a budget of $60,000. We grew the seed of $6,000 into $60,000, rented the Aratani Theater last fall. COVID has been truly wild. So we have this beautiful play. We rented the Aratani Theater and then couldn't fill the theater because one of our cast members is severely immunocompromised. And so we hired a film crew instead. And so we were able to film Transmutation, a ceremony featuring Sydney Rogers, Alexandra Magallon, Samantha Jo Dato, and Ebony Ava Harper, with my co-director, who's also from LA, Jaden Fields, Luna Medbruja, our board chair. We're all part of it. We had a very Black, trans, LA-based crew and cast, and none of that would have been possible without the City of West Hollywood's support. So thank you for that. I hope to screen the recording that we have many more times, but 200 people have already seen it. We're going to be showing it at the National Sexual Assault Conference, which is actually attended by 1,500 practitioners who do sexual assault support services around the country in August. And hopefully we'll be able to produce it live next year. So City of West Hollywood, you want to reinvest in a live production? Let's figure out how to work together. I think that we're hearing about so many losses that are happening in the world, and especially in our country right now, but I want to re-anchor us in the wins. I want to re-anchor us in the commitments that California, and especially West Hollywood, has made to be a sanctuary. It is inevitable that, particularly I think about young people, I think about young trans people, I think about the ways that other states are passing bills saying if trans children get gender affirming care, then the adults who help them are engaging in child abuse, which is just a gross inversion of reality, right? We need to make the experience of trans youth of color in LA County, and especially West Hollywood, even better than it is now, because they're gonna come here. This is a sanctuary, right? So let's really make it a sanctuary. That means we need to find more housing, more health services, more healing arts services, right? Really invest in free therapy for everyone. And one way that we do it is actually an important step that you all took this very week. So thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, the West Hollywood City Council, for decreasing the amount of the LA Sheriff's contract here by $1.6 million. That's $1.6 million that can go back into healing services for young people in West Hollywood, for community members in West Hollywood. That's how we make our communities safe, right? We measure the safety of our city, of our sanctuary, of the people who need to come here because other places are no longer safe. We measure that safety by how well is our community. And we know that we're doing a good job and we can do better. We should have zero homelessness. right? We should have everybody fed. Everybody has health care. Everybody has the community, the therapy that they need, the fun arts programs to go to, and we can create that together. So thank you for inviting me to be home here in West Hollywood. Thank you for the ways you've supported my vision, and I look forward to creating that sanctuary with you in the years to come. Thank you so much for this honor.